Hi folks, it's Charles, the inventor of the popular Bio3Blaster series of high shock power ozone generators. Here I am today to go over another frequently asked question. This one is about dielectric media. If you watched any of our other ozone videos, you've probably by now learned a little bit about how ozone is created. But for those of you that haven't, a quick refresher. Ozone is generated in our machines by high voltage in a form called the corona discharge. That's what happens in nature when lightning strikes and air, in the presence of air, converts atmospheric oxygen into O3, or ozone gas. So in this primitive model, you'll see that we have two electrified bolts. We have a high voltage transformer that takes our wall current to high voltage. We pass the electricity across, and the dielectric media in this machine is air. It's the actual air gap between the 2 points on the ends of the bolts. And you can see they've already begun to rust or oxidize from the ozone that's present, because this machine doesn't have stainless steel bolts. So the dielectric media here is air. That's a pretty poor dielectric, but there is ozone gas being generated as that spark jumps across the gap. Another type of ozone dielectric media that some manufacturers are using is called mica. It's actually the first dielectric media that I used when we were hand building our generator cells. And the dielectric media of mica, it was built into this. This is one of our first ozone tunnels that we ever built in one of our first ozone generators. And it's something that we've definitely gone away from, and for a reason. Now, I have here a generator cell pack made by an online ozone company. And they talk about their generator pack being tough and durable, and it is. It's relatively tough and pretty durable. And they talk about mica being a tough, flexible dielectric. The problem is mica is capable of being burned through, and that's what we discovered. I'll just take this apart and show you a piece of mica. So here it is. This company advertises they use double thick mica. I'm not sure what that means. This is a pretty standard thickness mica used for a dielectric, and you can see it's extremely flexible. If I flex it a little bit, oh, there it did. It just started to break. It'll actually break in half. But because it's flexible, it is an okay medium to use in an ozone generator, but because it's so thin, the electricity will often cause a burn through, and that's where the wire starts to oxidize a little bit, and it develops a patina, and then it will burn through this thin dielectric media. Folks, this dielectric media is really a dinosaur. It's gone by the wayside in high output ozone generators today. There are still some companies out there that are using it. I'm not saying it doesn't work or that you won't get a machine that makes ozone. This design has its own other issues, but we're not trying to pick on anyone here. This is about dielectric media. So another type of dielectric media that was used for years is something called borosilicate glass. And if you've watched our other videos, I showed you a piece of borosilicate glass. It looks like this. It has a piece of stainless steel mesh glued to it, and then electricity is passed across the electrified media with the dielectric in the middle. This is one of the other types of ceramic technology. This is pretty much a standard in all different types of ozone generators. This is, I believe, a 500 milligram per hour panel, and it's a thin type of ceramic which you can see the edges have already broken off of, and in fact this large chunk is getting ready to break right now on the piece of this machine. ceramic is an awesome dielectric because it will never burn through. This porcelain was fired at much hotter temperatures than this electrified metal will ever reach. And so it does have the design element of being a stable, non-burn throughable dielectric media. The problem is in this thickness it's really it's rather flimsy, it's capable of being broken. And there's another big problem, and that problem you can see in this generator cell and in this generator cell. And that's when you use stainless steel mesh. The reason they use it is because it gives you a decent amount of surface area to be electrified for air to pass across. But the negatives to it are when you run your machine for a while, you're going to start to get carbon ghosting on the elements that are being electrified. And it's virtually impossible to get something inside these grooves all the way down and clean around the wires to build up that to stop the buildup on that carbon ghosting. So these types of plates have a very limited lifetime, hundreds of hours at a maximum. This type of a cell, you're looking in hundreds of hour range as well. And this is again one of our first ozone tunnels that used the mica technology. And while this generator cell never suffered a burn through because of the way we soldered the wires, and it is a super durable, heavy duty tunnel that segregates the ozone from the rest of the machine, what you'll see if you look in the end is just a massive amount of that carbon ghosting. Matter of fact, these are white wires. I know they look black, but these are white silicone wires that have become coated with carbon. And folks, you can blow this out with an air compressor, you can vacuum it, we've tried everything. There's nothing that'll get that carbon ghosting off, so when this happens, this whole generator cell has to be discarded and just thrown literally in the trash. So then you're back to square one as a consumer needing to buy an ozone generator cell for your new ozone machine. And this company sells their generator cells for like $100. And some of the other panels are even more extremely expensive, and it's a real serious issue. So in our machines, we elected for something a little better, something a little bit higher tech. We went for a very thick ceramic paddle that has printed nickel circuitry on the surface of it, and under a microscope this nickel has serrated edges, which makes for points of ozone gas generation all the way up and down. It has a far greater surface area than you'd imagine from looking at the cone type printing, and it also has a removable docking station, which means you can unplug this from your ozone generator if it goes bad, and you can clean it off. And because this is a completely, nearly two-dimensional plane, it's easy to take a cotton ball with alcohol and clean off that carbon ghosting. And then instead of having to throw the machine away, you just plug it right back in, and you're back in business. With our new longer life generator cells, these use the nickel tungsten, and it is again built into the super thick ceramic. Not this thin flimsy stuff that's going to break. This is thick porcelain. And it also has our docking station. So another superior advantage, we use the best dielectric media possible. What's up with mica? It's a dinosaur. Don't even consider buying an ozone generator that still uses that stuff. Don't take my word for it, folks. Buy one of our awesome, rugged, high-power shock treatment machines today and prove it to yourself.